As a literary agent who also works as a developmental editor, I don't edit based on personal taste. I actually use the very standard and important story framework that comes from Save the Cat and the classic scene theory. So, if you've ever wondered how professional editors evaluate scenes, it comes from Save the Cat, and it's one of the most respected frameworks in publishing. So the rule is that every scene must give some sort of shift, whether this is an external thing, something can happen to the plot, or something internal, a character's decision, belief, or emotional state needs to shift. And so if nothing changes, the scene just stalls the story. So the rule is that every scene has to move the story forward in some way. That can be external or internal for your character. Okay, so if you're doing this for your own book, how do you apply this? The way that I do it is I ask myself, what is the difference between the beginning of the scene and the end of the scene? And if there's no real difference, then the scene didn't have any sort of change, and so it stalled out the story. And readers, as they're reading, whether it's conscious or subconscious, they do feel that stagnant stalling of the story if there is no change happening, if that scene doesn't accomplish moving either your plot or your character forward in some way. And why does this matter? Because we don't label it, a scene change, but we feel it instantly. The momentum drops, the attention drifts, pages stop turning, and that's because there is these scenes that just have no internal or external motivation moving them forward. So even with really strong writing, sometimes there are just so many scenes where the narrative is not doing enough work for the book and it's not making these changes happen, and it makes the reading, as wonderful or beautifully written as it is, fall flat. And that is where you're going to lose readers, agents, and publishers. This single rule can improve your story structure, your reader engagement, and the pacing, the overall pacing of your story, really more than any rule. So if you're thinking about doing edits, go through yourself, evaluate these scenes that are giving you a hard time, and ask, in terms of my plot, what do we know in the beginning and what do we know at the end? In terms of my character and their motivations and their internal thoughts, feelings, behavior, conflict, what is changing for them in this scene? It's a great way to start and really make sure, if you're feeling like this scene is not really hitting right, it could just be that there's no real change happening within the scene.